I would be able if I looked at my screen, I can see that it says recording at the top.
Yeah, it does.
I guess that would tell me if what I need to know.
I Mhm.
All right. So I'm Emily.
And I'm Chelsea, and this is Mom Needs a Minute.
One of these days we'll get that down.
I mm, I'm not too sure about that, but we can try.
We'll be like 10 years down the line and we're still fucking it up.
Saying the wrong name.
Mhm.
Man. Mm.
All right. So while I'm fixing this, why don't you tell us why you need a minute?
Why do I need a minute? Oh yeah. Well, sister is diagnosed again with cancer. I need like a full 4 days for that. What else? I thought of one today. Other than that, what did I think of? I feel like my Adderall should be helping with this, and it's not. Oh gosh. I don't remember.
All right, we're gonna say fuck it for now. I like pulled the whole thing off. I
How's that
couldn't
going for you? Hmm.
I couldn't get it to go back on and now I can't figure out how to get it out of this thing and now it's just a whole process.
Yeah,
This
we
is
like
why
shoved it in there.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
did.
why this is why I can't be trusted without Pat to be my sound guy.
Your your assistant.
Mhm. Mhm.
God, what else
Absolutely.
did I think of? I had another one. I can't remember what it was.
To do?
Yeah, whatever. Obviously, it wasn't that detrimental if I don't remember it now.
I had a good one this week too, but I it's not nearly as awful as, yours. Now I lost the fucking pin.
Okay.
Okay, well I found it. Clearly, this goddamn thing is why I need a minute today, but, um, on Sat Saturday, we were getting ready to leave town and, um, to go to, help clean out Patrick's uncle's house
Mhm.
and, to for Easter, the last weekend, and we're at the grocery store, and as I all I'm looking for is some goddamn green pepper or green bell peppers. Like, I don't
Yeah,
need
this
why are you soliciting me? Don't do that. And this woman just comes up and starts talking us to us about the meaning of Easter and stuff, and,
mm,
tries to get us to take her Passion of the Christ tickets for her church program or whatever. And I was nice. Don't do that. Don't do that because that's what Patrick said too. He was like, "I saw your face as soon as she started talking, and I was really nervous about what was gonna come out of your mouth." And I was like, "Okay, first of all, rude. Second of all I said was, 'Sorry, we're gonna be out of town this weekend.'" So I was nice about it.
But in your head, you were saying
So many other things that are not
highly inappropriate things for public.
they're just not very kind. I'm still working on this.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think you're
yeah,
winning, though.
not currently. I will. I'll get there. Oh, we've
Holy
also been
crap.
cleaning our house like crazy. Like everything's starting to like get packed up and stuff for when we
Ugh,
move.
yeah.
And feeling I'm still
Oh
feeling
my
some type
god.
of way about moving. So
Yeah. One day we'll
I
be good
don't
at this.
I don't know what just fell off of here, but hold on 2 seconds.
Oh my god.
Look, there's like a
I think you lost your arm for good.
no, no, no. No, 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 no. No, no. No, no, no. Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh god.
Oh, also this weekend, the boys picked out their new bedrooms in the new house.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, we went out there on Sunday when we were coming home. So
Mhm.
now they have all sorts of plans for me to redo their bedrooms already. But
That's okay, though.
yeah, yeah, I kind of want to get it done before like we move all of our stuff in there. But who knows? We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
I mean,
We'll
that
see
would
if we
be
have time.
easier.
Yep, we're thinking like the weekend of the 20th, maybe will be when we start. hmm
So, would you
We
be
can
moved in before school ends then?
probably.
Yeah.
We'll see how everything goes though.
Everything
But
goes, yeah. I mean, moving is
moving is
such a, like
moving is the worst.
it is. It's trust me, I know.
Yeah,
Never okay, I can't say never again because 'cause I'm not gonna live here forever, but
yeah.
at one point I said I was gonna die in here. But,
Well,
like, Michael won't let that happen anymore.
that's good.
I hate moving.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I
Okay,
told
well,
Pat this is the last time. When
that's
we bought
fair.
this house, I told him he gets one more move and then I'm all done.
No more.
Mm-mm. Uh-uh. So, yeah, aside from getting invited to a Passion of the Christ play on Easter, that's about it for me.
I don't I had a good one when I got home, and I just can't remember what it is now.
That stinks.
I know. I don't remember anything anymore, I swear.
Same. You'll have to pipe in if you remember it later.
Yeah, I will, but I
So,
probably won't remember it.
probably not. Probably not.
No! My brain's, like, trying to adjust to the new, like, medication, and it's just, like, not working.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Mhm.
Yeah, seems about right. It's always hard to, like, adjust meds and stuff. Maybe that's why you need a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been, what, 4 days?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
why.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Do we wanna start part 2?
Yes.
Okay, so just a recap, in part 1, we were talking about the Isabella Gardner museum heist that took place in Boston in March of 1990, where 13 works of art were stolen. The guards were locked in the basement, basically unharmed, and it is considered the highest valued museum heist ever in history. At the time, the FBI had estimated that the value was roughly 200 million. But by 2000, they raised that to 500 million, and now some art dealers believe it's upwards of $600 million worth of stuff that that's the works of art are worth.
Wow.
So yeah, so within one day, or within 3 days, a local auction house had come up with funds for $1 million rewards for any information. Then that in 1997, that had been increased to $500 or $500. Christ, $5
No,
million
yeah.
dollars, $5 million, and then to $10 million in 2017. And it is considered to be the largest reward ever offered by a private institution as well. So they got a lot of high ranking things here. Largest reward, largest heist, largest all that stuff. To this day, though, no arrests and none of the art has ever been found. And as per Isabella's rules, the collections and layouts were supposed to remain permanent. So the empty frames and spaces are still there today. Okay, now after the rundown. We have some theories. So, immediately, because of the scale of the heist here, um, the FBI took over immediately versus like Boston PD because they were afraid that it was either going to cross state lines or leave the country. So when they start asking around, asking everybody, it was discovered that the thieves had actually been spotted around 12:30 by like party goers near the museum because remember it was St. Patrick's Day,
Oh, yep.
so everybody's out messing around and stuff. So,
Party animals are out.
yep, and so these party goers were like looked at them and believed that they were police officers, and they didn't really think much of them. Um, the people on the street as well as the guards have both given similar or have all given similar descriptions of them. It's believed that one of them was between 5'9", 5'10", in his late 30s with a medium build, and the other is about 6 foot to 6'1" in his early 30s and a heavier build. And then the guard, Rick Abbott, he was the one that was doing the rounds and opened the one door and
Mhm.
shut the fire panel off. He stated that he noticed that the taller man's mustache appeared to be fake, and he said that he thought the shorter one looked familiar and said they may have had a warrant out for his arrest, which is interesting to me. How would you know that if you don't know who it
Yeah,
is? But
exactly.
that
Like, just by his
may
height.
unless maybe there was like a wanted poster or like in the newspaper or something like a yeah, like a wanted poster or something maybe. If
Maybe,
he's
but
like, "Well, I think this guy looks familiar. I think you have a warrant out for him." It still seems like a weird thing to say to me,
yeah, it's sketchy.
right? It's weird. Um, so between the pieces of artwork that had been taken and the treatment of the artwork, experts and the FBI were both really confused because experts claimed that there was much, much more valuable pieces of work left in the museum fully untouched. Um, and and then like some of the smaller ones were and they figure the experts said that the way that they treated these pieces of art, they were not like these people were not skilled or they didn't know what they were doing basically as far as like art goes. Um There's a painting called Ti by Ti I don't know, Titan is all I have in here. It's called Rape of Europa, and it is considered or at the time, it was considered the most valuable thing in the city, and it was in there, and they didn't even touch it. So all the money that they stole from, like, all the Rembrandts and stuff, they could have also they like, why not grab that one too, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so that left everybody kind of really confused. The FBI believed that they were not experts but that they had been hired to steal specific pieces of work. And it's also unknown whether or not DNA had been found at the museum, but fingerprints and footprints were found. However, it was not determined whether those were evidence of the thieves or if it was from the guards, which seems weird to me. Like, what for the guards? Wouldn't you take impressions of those things right away?
Yeah.
You know, come on,
You would
FBI,
think
get it
so. I
together.
mean, yeah. Even, like, at that time, though, you would think that they'd have some kind of, like, system they could work with on that. I mean, 1990, that wasn't.
Yeah, but I don't think that, they really had this like, they didn't have, like, DNA technology.
No, I guess, but they shoulda had, like, something pretty close. Maybe?
At least take fingerprints.
Yeah.
I've
Or,
been
like
fingerprinted before, it doesn't take that long, you don't have to
no. No,
I don't
like a
know.
shoe print. If
Yeah,
you have, like, the image of the shoe print, you should be able to.
right? these look the same. One of these things
Yeah,
is not like the other. Like,
I
come
mean,
on
you're
now,
taught that in school. They give you
right?
that book and, like, what is different in this picture?
It's like that episode of The Office where Pam hands over a 2 things and she's like, "We need you to tell us the difference in these 2 photos. It is like a dire situation." And then she walks out and her talking head says, "It's the same photo." And then she leaves him in the office and is like, that'll keep him busy for a little bit.
Oh my god, I would be so mad because I would sit there and stare at that forever until I figured it out.
I think that's the point.
I know it's the point, but I would be mad. Like,
Um,
there'd be no friendship after that.
Creed Bratton, that's who it is. Okay, never mind. Evidence does keep being retested every so often when, like, new technology comes out, but, they can only test some things so much before it's,
Yeah.
like, deteriorated or you get
Mhm.
lost to time.
Yeah.
Um, so this is about all the information I could find as far as, um, like, evidence goes outside of, like, some of the tapes. That's it. That's all they really have to go on right now, which is not very much information or, like, not many
No.
pieces of evidence. Um, so first up, they obviously looked at the guards themselves, like,
Yeah.
obviously, and they particularly focused on Mr. Abbott here, because he had been the guard to have opened and closed that door, that the thieves had used to enter and exit the building. And that was after he had disabled the alarms because of what he had said he assumed was a faulty fire system.
Yeah, no, yep, yep, yep.
Yep. Okay, so that's why they're focusing directly on him specifically and not the other guy. Um, it was thought they thought that the opening of the door could have been like a signal to the thieves, that like the coast was clear, whatever, right? Um, but Abbott said that it was part of the regular routine when patrolling the building. However, one of his colleagues said that if the doors were supposed to be routinely opened, supervisors would have seen activity on like the data printouts from the motion detectors and they would have put a stop to it like immediately, even if he did think
Yeah.
that it was supposed to be that way. And then another thing was that there was no activity aside from Abbott making his rounds detected in the blue room, which was the room that the Shea Tortoni was stolen from. And I can show you all these. I had photo or I have like links to all of them. But
We can we could put it on the Instagram
yeah,
and
I can send them
Facebook.
to you. Yeah,
Do
I can
that.
send them to you.
Sometimes I get confused as to how some of this stuff gets called art.
Well, yeah. I
Is that mean? I mean, I don't have an eye for art, so it's not like I have a whole lot to say, obviously. But
Yeah, I don't know either. Um I always think that not specifically with stuff like that one where it was like actually but it's like those ones where it's just like a swipe on a like
yeah.
those ones I'm like, "Okay,
And
I
like
have art like that in my dining room from when my baby was 16 months old." So,
seriously, my cats can do that just by walking out of the litter box sometimes.
we could probably make a killing on using our cats to try to paint,
Yep.
selling their
And
prints. That's what
I
we gotta
mean,
do. That's where the big money
seriously.
is.
I actually think Trista might beat us in that though with all of her paws of destruction.
Toe
Mhm.
beans of terror.
Mhm. Well, Meatloaf though could be in on that too. He's a I don't give a shit cat. However, I did bathe him this weekend. That was my biggest event of the weekend. That is actually probably why I also need a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds
I
right.
bathed 3 out of the 4 cats. It was great.
You're a brave person.
Well, yeah.
So, there was This Shea Tortoni was stolen from the blue room, but there was no motion detected in that room outside of when Abbott did his rounds. So they thought that was a little weird, so that's, again, another reason why they're looking into him. Security consultants had actually inspected all of the security equipment, and it was found that all the security equipment was working perfectly. No, I had a page in my notes that I had, like, the approximate, like, prices of each of them on. So, I wanted to grab that, but I did not grab that, so we'll never know, I suppose. Um, 2015 or do you think, well, probably not, I suppose, copyrights and stuff. Hmm. In 2015, the FBI released a video from the night before the heist in which you can see Abbott allow an unidentified man into the museum. When he was asked about this incident, he claimed that he doesn't recall and he doesn't recognize the man. So,
Can I use that as an excuse if I start bringing home random cats? It wasn't me.
I don't know, I don't recognize
I
that.
don't know how it got there. Michael Big, yeah, I can see you. That wasn't me.
I do not recall.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. No comment. So
Mm-mm.
clearly now at this point, the FBI is like, "Okay, homie, what the fuck?" Right? And they're
Yeah.
asking for help. However, several other employees did say that the man was actually the museum's deputy security chief. And so, first of all, my question is, why did he not just come forward and be like, "Hey, that was me."
Yeah, like, I was in there instead of just hide like, see, everything just doesn't make sense to me now.
It gets worse. Okay.
Goody.
This is the easy one. So Abbott died in February of this year, 2024. And he maintained his full innocence until his dying breath. And it should be noted that the FBI agent that was like in charge of overseeing the guards side, like in charge of being on top of the guards for this part, said that that quote, the guards were too incompetent and foolish to be responsible for this crime.
Imagine getting smacked in the face with that. Like,
No.
y'all suck.
You know what? We thought and then we talked to you guys and, wasn't you. Wasn't you.
Y'all can go on with life now.
Incompetent and foolish. Oh god.
I don't even
Honestly, at that point, I would be like, "Excuse me? I could have done this. What are you talking about? I could have done this. How rude of
mhm,
you."
take offense to that.
I didn't do it, but I could have. I just
Yeah.
wanna be considered.
Oh my god.
So dumb. Okay, so then in 1994, they get like this big clue. And an anonymous letter had been delivered to the museum director, Anne Hawley. The sender claimed to be attempting to negotiate the return of the art, and it explained that the art was stolen in order to negotiate a reduced prison sentence for someone, but the opportunity for that had passed, and so there was no more reason to keep the art. There was no reason to keep it anymore. I want you to remember that fact.
Remembering. Okay, actually, I probably won't, but I'll try.
I'll bring it back.
Okay.
So, the letter writer stated that the art was being held, and I don't know what this is. I should have looked it up, but in a quote, non-common law country.
Non-common law.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
Well, because it could be remember, like not remember, but common law marriage, if you're together for so long,
I get
you're married.
that's state by state though.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, can it be the same concept somehow?
I know
Common
that's kind
law.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I
I'm curious.
are you gonna look it up for me?
Common common yes.
Okay.
Common sense media. Common law.
Country
Country.
or non-common law country. because that's the one that's where it's said to be.
A non-common law?
Yeah. But it was in a climate-controlled facility and being cared for the way that it should have been, apparently. I mean, if you think
Well, that's
about it,
good.
these pieces of art are from, like, the 1600s, most of them.
Yeah. And
Like, the
I mean,
Rembrandts. Isn't Degas from the 1600s too? The it's the ancient Chinese gu, which is like, just that big bronze vase.
there's
That's
a
from
lot.
Yeah. That's from, like,
Common
the
law.
time that it oh god, what was it? The 1600 to, like, 200 or 2 wait, I have it somewhere.
So, common law, also known as case law, is a legal system in which the main body of law is formed by court opinions, which play a defining role in determining how laws are interpreted. Oh God, an ad. I'm sorry.
So, it sounds like
And
that
applied.
it would be more of a
Court decision or what? Hold on. It is a common law system. Previous court decisions are usually respected as precedent and applied to current
yeah,
decisions
so
about.
it's like more people have an opinion on it versus just, like, one person saying, "This is what's happening." Is how I'm
Yeah.
hearing that. So, the ancient Chinese gu is what it's called, it's GU, but it's like 10 inches tall, I think. It is literally from dynasties that ruled China from 1600 to 256 BC,
Holy shit.
and that's part of this, like, thing, so
Mhm. There's like
yeah,
100, I think they said like 107 non-common law countries.
it's a lot of that's
Mhm.
a lot. And there are only,
United
like,
States and
200 anymore.
Canada well, I mean, United States and Canada follow common law.
Yeah. Either way. So anyways, that's where this support according to this letter writer here, that's where it's in a non-common law country in a climate controlled facility. They stated that they wanted immunity for themselves and others involved, as well as $2.6 million as a reward to be sent to an offshore account at the same time of the exchange of goods. So we'll give you these paintings, you give us the money in this account. If the museum was
Uh,
interested, they should print a coded message in the Boston Globe. And in order for them to feel that this had been like a credible account here, there were several facts that only the FBI, museum officials, and the thieves would know. Anne Hawley, the director, decided that there was enough information for her to take it to the FBI. And then the FBI decided that they wanted to print the letter in the newspaper. And then a few days after the letter was printed, a second letter was received with the letter writer acknowledging that the museum had cooperated and put the message in the newspaper. But they had become fearful of what they'd perceived as a massive investigation by the feds and local authorities. And then this person was never heard from again.
yeah, because they were just an asshole just trying to get money.
No, no, no. Okay. So I think this, honestly, once I get into another one here, I think that this one is connected to another theory. So I
Okay.
do think that they're connected in a way. By this point, the FBI is thinking that this whole thing was planned by some criminal organization. And that's mostly based on interrogations, undercover informants, sting operations that they had been conducting at this time. Um, and then again, I would also argue that this letter could have been written by somebody within that organization and then
Okay.
somewhat threatened. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we're in Boston in the 90s. There's no way that you're getting out of this without talking about the mob. Anyways, Boston, the 90s mob, obviously. Now I want to make it very, very clear. None of this is confirmed. None of these people have been arrested or uh, indicted on any charges. This is just what has been reported. I am only reporting what other people report. Please don't come after me. It's not I'm not what you want here, man. I'm gonna stop as soon as this is done. I'm not looking into this any further. I will not be I will not be trying anymore. We're This is it. I don't want the Boston mob to come after me. All
Oh
right.
gosh.
So, first up in Boston at the time, the most powerful crime boss, Whitey Bulger.
That's the
Clearly.
name he chose?
Oh, have you never heard of Whitey Bulger before?
No.
Oh, he's whole he's a whole case. He's a whole study on himself here. We could do a whole episode or 2 on him.
Oh
He's
gosh.
yeah, he's pretty he's way up there. I'm pretty sure he's dead now, so, anyways,
That's probably okay.
yeah, I think he died just a couple years ago, though. So anyways, FBI agent Thomas McShane determined that Bulger had strong ties to the Boston PD, and that could have explained how the thieves had gotten their hands on such realistic police uniforms to the point where the guards would have been confused and let him in. Um, but he also had very close ties to apparently, allegedly, this is all alleged. This is all alleged. I want to make it very clear. He allegedly had ties. I am saying this out loud now and I'm writing it. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And now I'm saying it out loud. And now I'm like, uh oh. Just put this with a big old stamp on the front of it. This is all of the rest of what I am about to say is alleged. There have been no arrests. There have been no charges. There have been nothing. It's alleged. So, and everything has come from what I could find on the internet. Yes, which we will post. So, he also apparently has pretty strong ties to the Irish Republican Army or the IRA. And McShane, the FBI officer, states that the act of tripping fire alarms before a heist is a common calling card of the IRA and the Ulster Volunteer Force, or the UVF, which is like a military group that's not affiliated with the military group of the country that they're in. What are you looking at?
Michael just came in here.
Hello, Michael.
Emily says hi. He waved because you can see him.
Tell him to get in the shadow above your head there. I'll see him then.
Oh, you can see him. He's wearing orange right now, so he's very bright.
The act of tripping fire alarms before a heist is a very common calling card of the IRA and the Ulster Volunteer Force, which is it's like a military group that's not affiliated with the actual military group of the specific country. And it's also in Northern Ireland. So he's got ties to Ireland. Whitey Bulger had tight ties with two different forces in Ireland, the Irish Republican Army and the Ulster Volunteer Force. And so both the IRA and the UVF have agents in Boston.
I did not picture him to look like this.
Oh, did you Google him?
Yeah, I was really curious. Like, he does not look. He
I want to know what picture you're looking at. Show me. Oh, yeah.
That's nuts. I was envisioning, like a, you know, like a, just no. 19 counts. Okay, sorry. Carry on.
I told you we could do a whole episode or 2 on him. He's got quite a history. So anyways,
He
he has
does.
ties with these 2 different groups in Ireland. And both of them have agents in Boston. And then both have previously demonstrated the ability to organize art heists. However, McShane, the FBI agent, did say that there was no credible evidence to tie Whitey Bulger and the IRA to this. However, A retired arts and antiquities investigator for Scotland Yard named Charlie Hill stated that it could be likely that Whitey Bulger gave the work to the IRA, and then it's likely that the art pieces are in Ireland. Which, if that's the case, I could definitely see it being in Ireland and not in the US anymore.
Well, they figured they went out of the US anyway, so it had to have gotten,
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to Ireland.
Oh my god, I know. I did too. That's actually, where I wanted to go when we were planning our trip to Europe last summer. Okay, I have to go back to this real quick because I missed it, and I have to talk about it, okay? So, remember I said that the FBI and stuff did not believe that it was, the work of somebody who knew art and stuff, and it was probably somebody commissioned somebody else to steal specific pieces of work versus, like, just get the most expensive ones, and okay, the reason that I needed to say this is because not only was the Rape of Europa left, which was the most valuable thing in the city, but they also left behind a bunch of works by Raphael, Botticelli, and Michelangelo were completely undisturbed. And those would all be those should all be, like, up on top versus, uh, a few they had taken 5 sketches of Degas, which were just, like, on, like, parchment with oil, not oil, the chalk, and all 5 of those were worth less than $100,000 combined, like, today. And so, like, they're wondering why did they take all these and leave all of these other ones that were so, so much more valuable
Yeah.
untouched. Like, they didn't even go up to the 3rd floor where a lot of these other ones were. So that they were thinking that they were hired for specific paintings, right? And now I get to tell my Michelangelo story. And the reason that I have officially been turned into a Michelangelo apologist. Have you ever heard anything about him?
All I think of is the turtle, so no.
Okay, well, he's the one that did the Sistine Chapel. He painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Okay, it's first of all, it's beautiful. It's in the Vatican.
I seriously don't like, art is not my expertise. Like,
No,
do you know what I draw when it comes down to drawing something, right?
yes, little stick
That's
person.
because I can't no.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. But
No.
no.
Yeah.
So Michelangelo and the Sistine Chapel. I have always heard that he like was just unbearable to work with. Like he was so crabby. He was so vindictive. He was so revengeful, right? He was like just rude is all I've ever heard about him as a person in
Oh,
all the I don't know, books that I've read or shows that I've watched cuz I like documentaries and stuff and the Renaissance has always really been like really interesting to me. And so I've heard he's just awful, right? So here we are in the Vatican. Isn't it pretty?
it's interesting.
It's huge.
It is huge. There's so many different, like, paintings going on.
It's
My brain
massive.
can't, like.
It's it's massive. Like if you were to take my entire house and go from like the very front patio to probably like the tree in the backyard, that's about how long it
Mhm.
is. It's fucking huge. So, and it's like all painted as a fresco. It's not like a painting. It's a fresco is
No,
like
it's like.
a fresco is where they have like the wet um like clay and they put the color into the clay and then the clay dries and it's that color versus like a painting on a canvas or something.
Yeah.
So, no, on this tour, I'm officially, I feel bad. Michelangelo got a bad rap. He was a very, very vindictive person
His his
in
personality was shit, but
in the very best way possible. So they had hired him to do a couple of these paintings, such as the Sistine Chapel, right? For the Vatican, right? So, like, the Pope and all these people are like, "We have a very specific vision of kind of what we want," and he goes, "Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do what I want instead. I know what you want. I'm gonna do it my way, though. I don't care what you want." And then at one point, one of the guys that was, like, overseeing this at the time. And now remember, it is the 1600s and he is on a scaffold all the way up there. Like it's like 2 stories up.
Oh, yeah,
And
it looks
he's like
high.
bending like this, like it hurts. Like, so he's just uncomfortable and crabby. And so one of the guys,
Yeah, shit.
yeah, and he's drunk all the time because it's 1600s Italy. What else? Like it's safer to drink the wine than it is to drink the water. So he's drunk all the time. And they're pretty sure he was autistic or something. And so he's very focused. And so he has this plan. And these guys come in and they're like, "Hey, we don't like how many naked people are on this ceiling." Chelsea, don't look surprised. Rome is literally just people with their dicks out. That's all
No,
the
that's
art.
not me. No, I the fact that they said that
Oh yeah.
to him, knowing it the way he is,
So what?
yeah.
So what he did was he took this one guy that specifically told him this and he looked at him and went, "Fucking bet, homie." And a few days later, he came in to look at the progress, and Michelangelo had put his picture in a corner with snake wrapped around him, 2 gigantic donkey ass ears, and the snake is biting his wiener. And that is forever in the corner of the Sistine Chapel. And it
Fuck
is the
around and
greatest thing
find out, homie.
it is the greatest thing I've ever learned in my life, right? And so that's basically when I almost got kicked out of the Sistine Chapel because I couldn't shut my fucking mouth because as soon as I walked in there, you're not allowed to take pictures, but it's because it's a place of worship. So you're not allowed to take pictures.
Mhm.
I walked in there and I went, "Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh God. Fuck. God damn it." And I was like, "Oh God, stop talking." And I just couldn't. And I finally just went and like held my own mouth because I was like, I can't. It is honestly one of the most stunning places I've ever been in my life. So well worth the visit, even though was not looking forward to going to the Vatican, but still it was like well worth it. But yeah. And then learning how vindictive he is. Oh my God. I love it. I love it so much. It's hilarious. And
He
then a
just
lot
didn't
of
give a
these are
shit.
no, he did not. He did not care at all about anybody's opinions. And I'm
He definitely had some autism in him then, huh?
pretty sure. But yeah, no, he
Mhm.
got pissed at this one guy. And a few days later, that guy comes back in to see how it's going because you're gonna change this, right? Sure. And the way he changed it was he made a nude painting of that guy in the corner and then wrapped with gigantic jackass ears, wrapped a fucking snake around him that's biting his wiener. It's incredible. I think we should all look
Imagine
up
being
Mike.
able to do that though.
I know you have the talent. I mean, more power to you, man. But who's my
Right?
yeah. So they're
I
leaving
would
all
just
of
have
these
to, like
other.
I would just have to draw, like, the dick with the snake and you know how my drawings are, and then, like, arrows. Like, "This is you," would be my
I hope you got little like
Yeah, I can't
instead. It's like actual just V's for fangs. A
Yep,
big
yep,
wiener.
I can't draw people, but here's the arrow with your name.
Here's a big wiener. That's you. You see that? That big wiener? That's you. Yeah, no.
I
It's
can only
incredible.
draw that.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, anyways, past that, all of Michelangelo's works were, like, left untouched, and he was obviously one of like, a very decorated artist, right? You would think that you'd try to go for some of those, but nope. I would.
Yeah. They had to
After
have
the
been naked.
I'm not kidding when I tell you that everything in Rome is it's just all the art, all the painting, everything except, say, the people on the street for the most part. It's
I
just
was
dudes
gonna
with their
say.
dicks out. It's just dudes with their dicks out. Everything. All of the art, all of the pictures, all of the museum. There's everywhere in Rome.
I think I found my calling.
Yeah, you'd like it. It's funny. No, it's actually really pretty, but yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I can't
So,
draw them that well.
no, you
Mine aren't
cannot.
detailed.
I don't know, you put some detail into the one you drew on my fence.
Oh, yeah, I did do that.
That life-size
We're
one
not
was, like, as tall as you.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
so
Yeah,
anyways,
and that
another
we're not going
ano
back to that.
another option here for who did this was Brian McDevitt, who was just a con man from Boston, and he had tried to rob the Hyde collection in Glen Falls, New York, and in that attempt, he had been dressed as a FedEx driver, had handcuffs and duct tape on him, and his main plan was to steal a Rembrandt. And then he was also known as a flag aficionado. He fit the description of the larger robber, except that he had thinning red hair versus whatever they said. And so there's a lot of similarities between the two. Um, and that intrigued the investigators. He refused to take a polygraph though and maintained his innocence, and his fingers prints also didn't match at the ones at that scene. However, after this, he like immediately after this, he moved to California, weaseled his way into film and TV writing, and he died in 2004. That's all there is on that guy. So,
So he's essentially not even he can't even be counted as a
well, they thought
option.
no, no, but they thought that between him being dressed as a FedEx driver, coming with his own handcuffs and duct tape, main plan to steal Rembrandts, which were the ones that were mostly stolen from. So they were like, there's just, oh, he also was a flag aficionado, and there was that filial eagle that was stolen. Filial eagle
Oh,
is the one
yep.
that's on top of the
Yep,
flagpole.
on
Yeah.
top of the
Yep.
mhm.
And then he fit the description of the larger robber, except that his hair was different. And so, like, there's just a lot of similarities between them. I mean, he refused to take a polygraph test, which I don't blame him for because they're not accurate anyways.
No, they're
But
not. I
so,
agree.
yeah. So I guess I don't fault him for not wanting to take a polygraph, but all right.
Wasting time.
Yeah. I mean, I think they can be helpful, but they can be very detrimental also, I think. But okay. So, in March of 2013, the FBI had announced that with a quote high degree of confidence that they've identified the thieves, and they are believed to be members of a criminal organization based up in the Mid-Atlantic and New England area. And, quote, with that same confidence, they state that the artwork was transported to Connecticut and Philadelphia, including an attempted sale of one of the pieces. I couldn't find which piece in the Philadelphia area in 2002. In 2015, then the FBI stated that both of the thieves were deceased, but they were not releasing the identities of the individuals. But in 2015, they are both dead, according to the FBI.
Okay.
So but they're not releasing names since that nobody was ever charged, and if they're both dead, they can't really charge them now. So close sources state that they were associated with a gang from Dorchester, which is I think like a suburb it's like up in by Boston, I think. And this gang was loyal to the Boston Mafia boss Frank Salome, and they ran operations out of a car repair shop run by Carmelo Merlino. Remember the name Merlino. Merlino is going to come in a lot now. So Merlino's associates may have had previous knowledge of the museum and its weaknesses after gangster Louis Royce cased it, intending to rob it in 1981. Royce and his associates had planned to smoke bomb and rush the museum in the confusion of the smoke. Unfortunately for them, the FBI had undercovers that had discovered them by investigating an unrelated theft. And so thankfully the FBI was able to warn the Isabella Gardner Museum, and Royce was in prison at the time of the 1990 heist. Although it was possible that he could have shared his plans with other members. And they believed that another associate, Stephen Rossetti, had ordered this specific robbery. So Merlino, bad dude. He's like up here on the hierarchy right now. So
Okay.
also in association with Merlino's gang were Robert Gar okay, I'm gonna say it this way because it's almost right. It looks like guarantee, but it's missing, like, the E, like another E, right? Guarente. It looks like guarantee.
Wonder if it's a Garant. Garant?
Oh, maybe Garant.
I don't know. I'm not very good at or Garrett?
It's just an N. Oh, I don't know, we're gonna call him Guarantee. And Robert
I like that.
Guarantee and Robert Gentile. It's literally Gentile. So it's Guarantee and Gentle, basically,
Mhm.
which is what I will be calling them. They're both Robert, though, so we will only be going by last names. I tried to find any other way to do that because I can't say them, and here we are. So,
What? Their first names are the same?
they're both Robert.
Why don't you call one Robert and one like Bob?
Well, Bob dies from cancer in 2004 then. And Robert here, because I won't remember which one. I won't remember which one is which. So,
That's fair. Shit.
get
Okay.
yeah. I won't be like, wait, which one did I? No, you're
Guarantee and
like
gentle.
he's alive. I thought he died. Oh, shit. Yeah, hold on, that was Bob.
Back up.
Yeah, no. So, uh, Robert Guarantee died from cancer in 2004. Well, and then I couldn't even just say like Robert G or like Robert B or like because they're both RG. Like I could not figure out a
Yep.
different way to differentiate them. So, uh, Guarantee died from cancer in 2004, and his widow in 2010, so he had been dead for 6 years, told the FBI that her husband had previously owned some of the paintings, and then when he got diagnosed with cancer, he gave them to Gentile for safekeeping. Gentile did deny this, stating he did not have them and he knew nothing about them. And then in 2012, feds had indicted Gentile on drug charges, but it was most likely an attempt to press him for more information on this, right?
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about your minor drug charges if they're looking for $1 billion in artwork. So,
Yeah. They just want you to crack.
yeah. So, during this time, a polygraph test did show that he had been lying when when he had denied knowing anything. And then even after this failed polygraph, he still denied knowing anything and he demanded a retest. During this retest, I forgot I wrote it this way. During this retest, dead Robert's wife showed live Robert Rembrandt's self-portrait. Forgot I wrote it that way.
Good depiction. Good depiction.
Oh God, no. So dead Robert's wife is showing alive Robert's a photo of Rembrandt's self-portrait, and the polygraph stated that he was telling the truth during the questions at this point. However, under no circumstance, like I could not find what kind of questions they were asking him. Do you know anything about this? No. I don't know what kind. Do you know anything about this? Yes. I don't know what kind of answers it doesn't seem like he was lying, but I don't know about what. I tried. So I don't know about what. But he wasn't lying apparently. However, his lawyers did say that he thought that his lawyer did say that he thought that there were too many people and agents involved, and he asked for a smaller meeting so they could do a third polygraph where he wouldn't be like as overwhelmed or whatever.
Okay.
They fucking denied the shit out of that. They went, "Nah, dude, you got two." Um, and then a few days later, his home was raided by the FBI with a warrant. And in the search of his house, they found a secret ditch under a false floor in a backyard shed. And that ditch was completely empty. What do you need a ditch for? So,
Every time I hear stuff like that, it just makes me think of your backyard.
we're not allowed to say that I have a tunnel in my backyard. Patrick thinks we're
I mean,
stupid.
he. Do you think Trista let us dig it up?
She's certainly more likely to than my husband, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tana would be down.
You know who would be down? and we would have to do zero work, Knox.
He's
He'll do it
hired.
for us. He'll do it for us. I'll pay him and all the apple juice that that little dude wants.
Oh my god. Oh.
So, alive Robert, his son said that the ditch had flooded a few years earlier, and his dad was furious about whatever was in there possibly being ruined. Like, his dad was so on edge and upset about this ditch flooding.
Mhm.
And then in the basement of the house, they found Boston Globe newspapers from the 90s filled with articles on the theft and several pieces of paper with information about the black market value of the stolen works. While all of this seems pretty damning, there was no actual hard conclusive evidence found at the scene. So then he spent 30 months in jail in prison for the drug charges that they had originally arrested him on. And during this time, if he did have any information, he never said anything about it in any way to get a reduced sentence or anything. Then after getting out of prison, Alive Robert maintained that he was being framed by the FBI. And then when asked about the list of prices, he said it was probably from someone else who was trying to use him as an intermediary between dead Robert and having the art actually returned. He also couldn't remember what was in that ditch, but it might have been small motors. I will never understand when people are like Rick Abbott being like, "I don't remember that guy. I don't know who the hell that is," when he let the one in the day before, or like this guy, "I have a gigantic ditch buried under my house in a secret trap door, but I don't remember what was in there." You fucking do, you liar. You know that you know you do. We all know you do.
How
You're not
would you
fooling
not?
you're not fooling anyone. Exactly. How would you not? You're not fooling anyone.
Holy cats.
Yep. Okay. So, they were both associated with that Merlane guy in the first part, right? That I told you to
Yeah.
remember? Okay. Okay. So that's put the Roberts on a shelf for a second. There you go. They will come back briefly. However, yeah, put them on a shelf. Be ready to pick them back up. So another associate of the Merlano gang was David Turner. Okay. So the FBI began investigating David Turner in 1992 when a source said that Turner had access, like direct access to the paintings. Merlino was arrested that same year on cocaine trafficking charges, and he told the authorities that he was able to return the paintings for a reduced sentence. But and then he said David Turner can get them to you, and Turner failed to return the paintings to Merlino, even though he supposedly knew where they were, or he supposedly knew they'd been in a basement in a church in South Boston. Not only that, but a second associate. So Merlino himself is like calling him by name, right? David Turner, that guy. A second associate had also told authorities on a different occasion that Turner had been involved in several other burglaries, but did not necessarily name this specific one at that time. So the FBI figured that Merlano never had direct access to the paintings, but it was possible that he could be a go between for them and David Turner, right? Because David Turner's not going to fucking talk to the FBI about, I know where these are. But Merlino, he's already in jail on cocaine charges. So he's sitting there for a
And
hot minute.
yeah, he's in there for a
So they're
while.
like, hey, we're going to use this guy to our fucking advantage here. So while David Turner continues his claim of innocence, okay, but the FBI believes that he may have been one of the thieves. Now, I have a couple different names for who the FBI actually do believe are the thieves, but his is seemingly one of the more popular options that does seem to come up. So, at the time of the heist, though, went to Florida to pick up a cocaine order a few days before the heist, and credit card records state that he remained in Florida through the night of the heist. However, they do have reason to believe that that was just him creating an alibi with a card, like credit card statements and stuff from like they do have reason to believe that it's just him creating an alibi. I don't know what that reason is because obviously they're not going to tell everybody everything right now, but so
Yeah.
so they in this theory, they believe that him and his friend George Reisfelder were the thieves, those two. Um, again, it is important to note no charges have ever been filed and nobody was ever arrested for this. And this is just what I have learned by reading on the internet. Reis- Reisfelder died in 1991, and at that time, there was nothing found in his apartment nor the homes of his friends or families, although his family or his siblings did say they remember a painting that was similar to Shea Tortoni in his bedroom. And that's that guy sitting with the top hat. The painting that I showed you earlier.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
S-
Yeah.
So his siblings, the siblings of Reisfelder did say that they remembered a painting very similar to that hung in his bedroom before he died. So there's no proof. There's no nothing. It's just reported that way. So then in 1999, Turner, Merlino, and Rossetti, among others, were arrested by the FBI on the day that they were going to commit another robbery. When Turner came in for questioning, they told him that they had information, like hard evidence that he had participated in the Gardner heist, and if he returned the paintings, they would let him go. And he claimed he had no idea what they were talking about. However, Turner knew alive Robert through dead Robert. So those three also now know each other now, right? You got to pop them off the shelf. That's why you got to keep them up there. And then in 2010, Turner wrote alive Robert a letter asking if he could call his former girlfriend. Okay. So David's former girlfriend. Yeah. This is where I thought I was like, we got real twisty turny in here a lot quicker. Well, a lot quicker than I was expecting. So with the FBI's help now, because now Turner's in jail and he's like, hey, alive Robert, please help me. So the FBI is like, we're going to use Turner now as this like go between. Right. So the FBI uses or helps alive Robert speak to Turner's girlfriend. She tells him that he needed to meet up with two of his ex-convict friends in Boston, of Turner's ex-prison friends. Go to Boston, meet these two there. They will have the information that you need. And the FBI went, yes, we're doing that. We will send some undercovers. We will send you with protection, but we're doing that. And Gentile said, nope, and refused to participate any further. And David Turner was set free from prison in November of 2019 with still no more information. Although I'm very curious about this girlfriend here. Couldn't
Right?
find her either. Couldn't find her either, which is probably for her own safety, to be honest. Like, that's probably for the best for her. But yep. Yep. So it was like,
Come on.
it almost feels like, that 7 degrees of separation. What is it? 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, where you're always like like you might know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
heard of that before.
Yeah.
I think it's the 7 degrees of separation, but I've always heard it as the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Of
So
course you have.
shut up. So finally, we're on our last little theory here, which, in my opinion, actually ties a bunch of these other mob theories together pretty well, in my opinion. Especially just there's so many people, there's so many names. It makes it kind of hard to keep up with, but they do all like it's kind of there's only, like, the same kind of, like, 6 or 8 names coming around every time, you know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of names and there's, like, a lot of twists and turns, but it does feel like, okay, so this guy knew this and this one, like, you can kind of put a little hierarchy in your head together, you know? So, this one has more names, but it still comes back to these other guys that we've already been talking about. So, finally, notorious New England art thief Miles J. Connor Jr. speaks with authorities. He was in jail at the time, that is confirmed, but he believed that someone named Bobby Donati and David Houghton were the masterminds behind this. So those are 3 new names, but full circle. So, Connor stated that he had worked with Donati in past art heists, that were successful to, I mean, obviously to an extent because we about them now. We know he did them now. Um, and that the 2 of them together, Donati and Connor, had already cased the Gardner Museum in the past. And Donati had taken a particular interest, apparently, in the finial eagle from the Napoleonic flag, which was one of the things that was stolen. And then Connor also claimed that Houghton had visited him in jail and specifically told him that that Houghton and Donati were going to organize this art heist, and then they were going to use the art in order to get Connor out of jail. Which, if in one of the first ones, in the one with the letter, remember they said that they were the letter explained that the art was stolen in order to negotiate a reduced prison sentence. Right? So the letter kind of then ties back into this story here. The problem is Donati and Houghton did not fit the descriptions of these robbers. But again, it was highly thought that they could have just hired some low-level criminals to go in there and steal specific things. Like if they had organized it and they went, "You go get this, 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 and this," right? Kinda keep their own hands clean. This is where the security button is. This is, you know. So, um, unfortunately, both Donati and Houghton died shortly after this heist, so questioning them is very difficult. Donati was murdered in 1991 by during a gang war, and Houghton had died shortly after, but he was sick. So, um, Miles Kahn said that he could assist the FBI in getting the art back in exchange for the museum's current reward, which was, I want to say, nope, it was the $1 million at this time, I think. And then his freedom. Investigators went, "Go fuck yourself, homie. You have no evidence." And then in retort to that, Connor goes, "Why don't you go speak with this dude named William Youngworth?" And so now they're like, "Okay, okay, we'll look at him, but like, you got nothing to stand on here, right? We're not letting you out. We're not giving you the money. We're not doing any of that, right?" So now the feds are checking into this Youngworth fella, and they raided his home, and he had an antique store. So they raided both of those in the 90s. And then in 1997, apparently, Youngworth had talked to a reporter and told the reporter that he had proof that he could return the art under the right conditions. That very night, Youngworth and this reporter went to a warehouse in Brooklyn, and inside, the reporter was supposedly shown what they said was appeared to be the Storm on the Sea of Galilee, the painting. And he said that the edges of the canvas and there was some cracking on the paint that was consistent with the museum's reports. He said he also noticed Rembrandt's signature on this. And he reported that his informant, probably Youngworth, said that there were 5 men that committed the crime, and he identified Bobby Donati was one of the robbers, and David Houghton was being responsible for moving the art to a safe house. So now Connor and Youngworth are both calling these two out by name. The FBI raided the supposed warehouse a couple months later, and there was nothing there. But, like, why would you wait a couple months?
Yeah.
The reporter supposedly had been given a few paint chips from his informant, which is probably Youngworth, right? The reporter was given a few paint chips, and he handed them over to the FBI for them to analyze the paint chips, which I think is the coolest goddamn thing on the planet. You can look at like paint
Right?
and know when it is from. And literally, so the paint chips that he had given to the FBI were actually from Rembrandt's era, but they would not have been the same paint used on the storm on the Sea of Galilee. I don't know how you know that, but it's incredible to me. It's so
Yeah.
incredible to me that people are capable of doing that. Like, looking at these paint I obviously microscopically and stuff, and they're much, much smarter than I am, but it's just so, so impressive to me when you could do that you can do that.
It's interesting.
It's like in, John Bonet when they, uh, tested the pens on the ransom letter and they could pen was one from in the house. Like, how on earth do you fucking do that? I've recently
Cool.
I know. I recently started following this woman on TikTok that talks about ancient paint. Not specifically because of this, but because she finds those, like, ancient ones that are made with, like, arsenic and shit, and then she makes them and shows you the color, but she also tells you a little bit of the history about why they or, like, how they came to be or what they were used for back in the day, and I think it's so interesting. The paint chips were from around the same time period, however, not from this exact painting that the reporter supposedly saw, right?
Mhm.
And the way that the reporter had also stated that the art was, like, unfurled, apparently would have been extremely, extremely difficult based on the, like, varnish that had been put on the painting. Eventually, the questioning of the reporter and Youngworth, who, as far as I can tell, is cooperating at this point, was really not going anywhere with Youngworth being unable to produce any more credible evidence. However, he did bring them another vial of paint chips and 25 color photos of some of the paintings. Both the museum and the feds, who had looked at this second batch of paint chips, said they, again, were not from the stolen brands, although they did seem to be around the same time and could potentially have been from the painting The Concert, which had also been stolen from the museum. So there's that. But it wasn't, like, definitively proven that that was the case. So, um, in 2014, a different reporter reached out to gangster Vincent Ferreira, Donati's superior at the time, asking for information. An associate of Ferreira's reached back out and explained that the FBI was wrong for suspecting the Merlino gang and claimed that Donati had organized the whole thing. And again, it was said that he was going to be, but this time it was said that instead of getting Connor out of jail, the money was going to get Ferreira out of jail. So now Donati is still getting somebody out of jail, but it's a different person. Donati had come to visit Ferreira in jail after the robbery and supposedly told Ferreira, I was involved. I'm going to use the money to get you out. So now apparently two different people have been told by Donati here that he has orchestrated and completed this, and he is going to use this money to get two people out. Unfortunately, negotiations and questions never happened because he had been murdered right away. although it is said that Donati had been wanting for her to get out in order to get protection from this gang war. But it is also said that he was a close friend of dead Robert. So now it is all brought back full circle, right?
Dead Robert, man.
It seems like they're all connected though, doesn't it?
It's just so I don't know. It just all seems so weird to me.
Who do you think did it?
I don't know. I have no idea. Mostly because it's like you steal all these like paintings and
I just
how do
thought it
you
was
sell them without getting caught?
well, there's that, yeah, for sure. I just thought it was very interesting that Donati decided that he was gonna do that and supposedly do that and then sell all of them, to who, right? And then use that money
Exactly.
or was he maybe just trying to use them as, like, leverage to get them out of but, like, why would 2 different people say that he told them both? He told me that he's gonna get me out of j he told me he's gonna get me out of jail, like, right? I
Yeah,
think
what
that
does
was
that
interesting.
doesn't
I thought that
it
was
doesn't
interesting.
benefit him at all. Yeah, I just doesn't make sense.
The one at the end with Ferreira says that he wanted protection from the gang war, so maybe well, apparently he really needed it because he was murdered the next year,
There's
but
that. Yep.
but yeah, I thought it was very interesting that, like, Connor had said that it was these 2, and then a second person said at the very least it was Donati, and then the young was able to provide 2 different vials of, like, paint chips that were from the same era and seemed kind of connected to me,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
right?
It just seems so weird. Like, how did they not get caught? Like, those pieces were so expensive and so popular. Like, how do you just get by without?
Well, and with it being one of the, like, largest heists in the world, I'm like, like, the news of that was everywhere. Like,
Yeah, and if you sell it, there's no way you can't get caught.
I mean, unless you're also on the dark web not wanting to get caught. Do you think that there's, like, an eBay for criminals?
Isn't that like the yeah, the dark web, the black what's it
Babe, it's
called?
black market.
They that
I'm just
I don't
thinking it's
okay.
criminal eBay. I wanna know what their website looks like just out of curiosity.
I
I wanna know if it looks just like eBay, but it's, like, instead of
oh,
white, it's black with white writing
I
on it.
really wanna go on the black market. I wanna go on there, like, so bad.
I don't think not a great decision, babe. Not a great
No, I
decision.
know, I'm not gonna do it because I don't know how, but, like, you can't tell me you're not curious.
Y Oh, no, no, I certainly am. You don't think that I have thought about just Googling black market art? No, I have, but I would be put on a list so goddamn fast
You really think so?
if I just Googled black market art, because I don't know how else to search for shit on the internet. Yeah, I'm getting put on a fucking list, especially after the shit that I've been researching in the last couple months.
But how do other
Chelsea,
Mhm.
I recently just tried to figure out how to, negate antifreeze poisoning with okay? Because of the Michael Malloy episode. Like, the things that are in my search history, plus searching for the black market on Google, it's not gonna be good.
I'm just so like, how does everybody else get on there, though, without getting caught?
Hate to give it to them, but they're smarter than me.
You
I
can use
couldn't even
the
figure out how
incognito.
I think
The
Google can still see it.
incognito. No, they can't. Okay, I have no idea, actually, I was just trying.
I had to struggle today to start this, to figure out which setting was my microphone. So I don't think that I'm gonna get on the black market or the dark web anytime soon if I can't figure out my own damn microphone and my Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, the fact that they're Bluetooth and, like, super easy, yeah, that's a little questionable. But if it makes you feel any better, I didn't shut my headphones off from last week until, like, yesterday.
Nope. I have spent all week trying to watch videos and then remembering that I can't because my Bluetooth is on. And then not getting up and shutting my thing off, so they were just on the entire time until today, and I would try to watch a video on my computer. There's the 2015 video of, Rick Abbott letting the random dude in the night before the heist. I tried to watch that on YouTube on my computer, and I had to find it on my phone because I couldn't figure out how to
Can't you
get my
just shut
sound
off your
back.
Bluetooth?
I tried that. Actually, no, I tried that. I shut my Bluetooth off on my computer. I did. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know, I got nothing.
I got nothing either. But yeah, that's all I got for notes. Oh, the statute of limitations has apparently um expired in 1995. So anybody with any information can turn that in, and there will they have stated that there are going to be no charges filed. So if anybody has any information about where this art is, they basically at this point they're like, we just want it back. So the statute of
Yeah,
limitations is up and they're not going to charge any, or they're not going to file any charges. So please reach out and contact.
bring that painting back.
Yeah, bring all of them back. In my opinion, you could keep the filial eagle because it looks, I'm fancy, but it's so small.
Yeah.
And there's a million of them. But
Yeah, there's that too. Huh,
uh
well,
there are not going to be any charges filed. Any information, go to your FBI office or um, I mean FBI.gov. I'm sure has a hot or like a tip line, even for like anonymous tips or something. But there won't be any charges because the statute of limitations is up. They just want it back at this point.
yeah, they just want it solved.
Yep. I don't even know if they want it. Like, I mean, obviously they want it solved, but if they're not going to be able to charge anybody, and it sounds like they are pretty confident in who they think did it. Isabella's rolling over in her grave now, man. She's like, it's been 34 years.
She's not okay.
She just wants her.
Give me the art back.
Do you know how long I spent searching for all that shit?
You made my museum look like crap.
And now I just got a whole bunch of white space on the goddamn wall.
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
It's bedtime.
I was gonna try to do like a Boston accent. And God, no. I changed my mind real quick on that one.
Mm-mm.
I can go
Mm-mm.
Southern a lot easier than I can go Boston.
I know you can.
Well, anyway,
Mm-hmm.
that's all I got
Yeah.
for you tonight. What kind do you have any requests for? Because you wanted something more recent, which I would say this one I got
Yeah, you did.
literally with information up to like 2017. So Maverick picked this one out. He because I said we got done the one day and he goes,
Mhm.
what are you gonna do the next time, buddy? And I was like, I don't know. Chelsea said she wanted something more recent. And he goes, what about that museum heist? And I went, perfect. Done. And Patrick just looked at me. He goes, what are you doing to my children? And I said, I did nothing. I was watching BuzzFeed Unsolved and they did an episode about it. And I figured nobody got seriously injured. So if they wanted to sit with me and watch it, it would be fine. And he goes,
They
how many other
hung on
episodes?
to it.
And he goes, how many other episodes of that have you let them watch? And I said, I don't know, but I closely monitor it. It depends. I don't let them watch the bad ones yet.
No,
But this
no.
one I figured was fine. But yeah, so Maverick picked this one out. Do we do spooky ghost haunting or aliens of some sort?
First option.
Spooky ghosts?
You know me and aliens don't get along.
I don't care. Dude, I fuck with aliens so hard. They are real.
I know.
They're real. I fuck with aliens, and you're gonna have to hear about them sometimes because I'm the one picking the
I know.
stories.
I know, I just don't, like, overthink it. I'm just like, "Okay, they're real. Good night," like, I just move on with my life.
Just like as a fact of life, trees are real, aliens are real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty much what it is. I'm like, "You do you, man." I don't
I like the abductions. I don't because they scare me. But or ooh, or I have recently learned Bigfoot is real. Do we do Bigfoot?
Not yet.
I I know you love cryptids so much. You're like, they're at the bottom of the fucking list.
They are.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Are we gonna end the
I what did we say? Bye. I hope that was enjoyable for your minute. I hope you took that and enjoyed your minute. I don't know. We're gonna have to shop that one. We're gonna have to shop that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright.
All right.
We'll see everyone next week. Or not see, you'll see us. Well, yeah.
We'll be in your ears next week.
Maybe your faces. Okay.